So last session, we started with the module computer, where we looked at uh, uh, computers, computer basics, keyboard shortcuts, organizing a computer, and we ended operating system. System is basically used for the application that runs applications. Many people are not aware that even their mobile phones have operating systems, even their smartphones. For instance, Android is an operating system. BlackBerry is an operating system. This iOS that runs in iPhones is an operating system. So basically, the system, the software, the application that manages so computers, hardware, and operating system. Are we together? Mrs. Adebola, are you with me? I can see others have joined. If you can hear me, please, can I get your reactions? Can I get your reactions? I can see Adeshina in the house. I can see Adebola. Please, are you able to hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
But this is the first time I'm to join.
Can I get your reactions, please?
Okay.
Rukayat, are you listening to me? Are you following up? You can leave a chat.
Yes, I am.
All right. Okay. So as I was saying, you know, your hardware on your phone.
Yes, please, I can hear you. Thank you.
Computer and enables you to run applications is an operating system abbreviation. Or this, I mean, the term operating system somewhere. Phones, computers, they use operating systems. Android is an example. Now, since we are talking about computers, since you know this is your first time joining Mrs. Adebola, I mentioned earlier that this is a continuation of the second module where we are talking about navigating the computer and the internet, and you can't afford to miss the upcoming modules because the next module after this we'll be talking about email, online communication. These basic, these are work skills. I mean, skills that enhances you in your workplace. So I encourage you all to tell someone, to invite someone, because this is going to be very interesting. So now, in the context of computers, we have an operating system such as Windows, Microsoft Windows, right? And Windows have had versions like XP, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and Windows operating system is widely used worldwide, right? We also have the Mac OS operating system. Now, as you can see on my screen here, the icon where I am placing my pointer right now is um, a logo, is a logo for the Windows operating system. Now, this other one is a logo for the Mac operating system, the operating system that runs behind Mac, uh, MacBooks, Apple devices, right? And this other one that looks like a duck is the Linux operating system. But the Windows and the Mac operating system are the ones widely known, widely used by non-technical users, while Linux is being used by technical users, software developer, and people in that category. So just as Windows have evolved throughout the years with different versions, Windows XP, Windows 7, 8, 10. Currently, the latest version of Windows is Windows 11. Now, my computer right now runs on Windows 11. Some people use Windows 10, which is still okay. But it's advisable to use the most recent, updated versions, Windows 10 or 11. Makes a lot of sense. While for the Mac OS, we have versions like Sierra, Catalina, Monterey, Ventura, and others designed for Mac computers. Now, it's very easy to figure out the operating system that your computer uses. For instance, my case is Windows. As you can see this icon here, that tells me immediately that this is Windows. Now, the logo here is slightly different from that of Windows 10 because I am using Windows 11. And so for someone else, someone else could be running Windows 10, but but the logo, they are similar. Just maybe the differences at the level of the edges. For instance, this is how Windows 10 looks. This is basically how it looks. It's not so different from this, the one I have on my computer. Okay, let's go ahead. So we already established that it is the operating system of your computer that enables you to use the computer. That enables you to run applications like games. Every other application on your computer enables you to do stuff like playing games, listening to music, watching. So if perhaps someday you're trying to turn on your computer and maybe it starts but doesn't take you to your usual home screen, you can already start thinking that, oh, perhaps my operating system has issues. Because from the time you turn on your computer and you see, and your screen turns on, it is your operating system running and enabling you to use the computer. So knowing some, essential settings on your operating system or on your computer is very important. It's very important. Now, during our previous sessions, we looked at some phone settings, and participants were asked to go through their phone settings to actually see what in their phones. We said last time that there are people who carry powerful features in their phones or functionality in their phones, and they don't know, and they are not aware, and some are spending a lot of time trying to do something manually when their phones could have simply done that for them. Or some are struggling to figure out how to do some things elsewhere. Meanwhile, it's right there in their smartphones. So similarly, it's important to know what is on your computer. So that's why it's very necessary that you know some essential settings on your computer. In other words, your operating system. So, for instance, um, we have issues regarding settings regarding display, settings regarding Wi-Fi and network, settings regarding your storage, your privacy and security, your updates, settings and time, sound, or volume. Now, computers better. For instance, I start icon here, I'm able to see settings. So this setting
Set.
icon or feature is as well on is available as well on let me see, is available as well. Oh, sorry, my screen is not shared. Oh, sorry, someone should have notified me.
It just disappears.
Okay. Okay, good, good, great. So on this start button here, you are able to see this gear icon, which usually represents settings. So this is
Settings.
not just available on Windows 11, it's also on Windows 10, even Mac OS, most operating systems. The name may differ, but for Windows, it's usually the gear icon with the label settings. So at the level of settings, you are able to see a lot and do a lot. For instance, this is Windows telling me recommended settings, recent and commonly used settings. So here I can already um, see settings such as display, where I can change my brightness level, I can turn on night light, I can display resolution. By going through these items here on my, on this left vertical menu, I'm able to see so many settings, so many things I can do. For instance, if I click on apps and I click on install apps, I'm able to see all my applications on this computer. Now, let's take a few and check them out. For instance, um, Windows also enables us to search. So in case you are overwhelmed by so these many items, menu items here, you could, where it says find a setting, so you could just type Wi-Fi and it goes and you click on Wi-Fi settings. As you can see, my Wi-Fi is enabled, so if I disable this, you will not be able to hear me again because I'll be disconnected. Now from here, I'm able to even view the connected network I am on right now. So on the home settings, you are able to see your computer name and some settings you could easily need at the moment, like Bluetooth, PC backup. On the left vertical pane here, you have gaming, you have time and language. So if I were to change perhaps my time zone, I would, do this from here. Network and internet. So many interesting settings that can be done from here. Now, on the Windows operating system, we also have this section at the bottom here and some areas where that gives us shortcuts to easily enable some settings or to do some certain things. For instance, if I am to connect on Wi-Fi, all I simply need to do is, if there is, a Wi-Fi box around me and I want to connect this Wi-Fi to my computer, I can either go to settings. Let me do this all over again. Can either go to settings here and then go to network and internet, and fortunately I'm already connected, but there's also a possibility if I were not connected, I would simply click here and then select the Wi-Fi name and input the password. Now, a shortcut to do that is simply to click here and then enable Wi-Fi, and from there I'm able to view available Wi-Fis and input the password and get connected. Now, this is just a glimpse. There's a lot we can do from our settings. So I would recommend that you take out some time, to explore all settings on your computer and let us know your impressions. You would be marveled that there are so many things that were on your
Let's pray.
computer
We'll go and call grandma.
and you had no idea.
Hello, John CB.
Miss
Come and clean it, Jerry.
Adebola, I'm going to mute
Oh, yeah,
you
let's
for a
pray.
second. No, it's Miss Ame. Mrs. Ame, please, can you mute your mic?
Hey.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Also, under settings, you are able to update your operating system. So, for instance, under settings, by clicking on update, I'm able to check for updates. It's important to constantly update your computer, your operating system, to be up to date with security, and some bug fixes from Microsoft. So from here, I'm able to check for updates and then update. Under privacy and security, I'm able to set up Windows security, for browser, firewall, antivirus, to keep my computer up and running properly. Now, so that is it for operating systems and some essential settings you can do or enable on your operating system. So let's talk about internet and web browsers. Internet and web browsers. So far, do we have any questions? Do we have any questions so far? Let me check. Any questions so far? Okay. If there are no questions, I'll move on. Now, The internet is simply a global network, right? Connecting devices worldwide to share information. Everyone here is already familiar with the internet. You being on this call right now, on this session right now, you're using the internet, right? It's because your device is connected to the internet, right? So through the internet, we are able to share information, we are able to communicate, we are able to access so many services. For example, we are using Zoom right now, through the help of the internet. You're able to hear me speak now, attend lectures, take lectures due to the help, the aid of the internet. Um, while a browser is simply a program we use to access and view websites on the internet. Now, most of the interactions you'll be doing online, you use the browser, right? Aside the fact that we have applications like Zoom or mobile devices, but there are many online interactions you do using a browser. For instance, you access your email using a browser. It's true there's an email app, but some people access their mailbox using a browser, right? So a browser is simply that program we use to access, the web, view websites, especially websites, to on the internet. And talking about browsers, popular examples include Google Chrome, right? Presently, I am using Google Chrome. I am connected on Zoom right now via Google Chrome, right? This is the icon here, Google Chrome. I'm using Google Chrome. We have other web browsers like Mozilla Firefox. We have Microsoft Edge, which was formerly Internet Explorer. It comes built in on Windows systems. So if you have Windows
Sorry.
installed on your computer, you would normally have Microsoft Edge installed. Now we have Safari. Safari is the default browser on Apple devices. So if you're using a MacBook, if you're using an iPhone, you'd surely have Safari installed. Now, let me give you this pro tip. Have you ever been connected? Have you ever accessed a website and you see ads popping up left and right? Like, I believe everyone here has experienced that. You are on a site, maybe especially some of these download sites or some of these blogs where people access information. You would notice some ads left and right, videos playing left and right, things popping up left and right, right? This is my personal pro tip, right? There is a browser called the Brave browser. Yes, you heard me, right? The Brave browser. So the Brave browser is what I use. This browser focuses on, privacy, and it blocks ads like 90%. And it also, has an architecture where it, you know, um, saves your personal information from being shared through, perhaps cookies and other means or methods. So this is what Brave browser looks like. Really perfect. So I use Brave browser when I am about to get some information or download, something from a site that has so many ads popping up left and right. Sometimes these ads even stop you from viewing the information you're trying to get on the website, like news websites, magazine websites, blogs, some maybe some of these free movies websites. I use Brave browser. You can try that too. So Brave browser, has a mobile and a web version. So this is what it looks like. It's basically like the normal browser. You have the address bar where you can type in, URLs, website addresses, right? It has a menu as well where you can do other things like view history, password, saved, and every other thing that other browsers do. So these browsers are both, on the mobile. They have their mobile applications, and you can also use them, on your computer as softwares. Now, some basic browser operations. Some basic browser operations that it's important, it's good to know, by everyone to navigate the browser better. Number one, we have history. So this is what Google Chrome looks like. For instance, over here is the address bar, meaning this is where you type in website addresses and links. For example, let's say maybe let's type something here. Let's say, for instance, come, hit enter. I hope my internet will be fast enough to open this. But basically, that's where you can type an address and then the site gets opened for you. Right. Similarly, on this address bar, browser, to Google Chrome browser, but it's similar for other browsers too, right? So let me get back to google.com. So it's possible to view your browser history. Has it ever happened to you that you were busily working on something and then maybe you turned off your computer and later on you're like, oh, how do I get this? It's quite simple. You simply get to your browser menu and then you have a list of options here, and amongst them you have history. So this history here, I can open the history page, and from there I'm able to view everything, right? Now, aside getting history here you can also get the password and autofill, settings. You can delete browsing data, you can zoom, you can print, you can view downloads, you can view bookmarked lists. So that's where you can get your history. And talking about bookmarks, let's assume that we are, you know, perhaps you can see when I place my pointer on it, it says bookmark this tab, right? So if I click this, it's going to tell me bookmark added, and if
Yes, screen has disappeared. We are not seeing the screen again. The screen is not showing again.
So yeah, I was saying that once you are able to bookmark an article, you can later on get back to the bookmarks in order to your bookmarks list in order to check them out. Also, another important browser setting or operation you should be familiar with is downloads. Whenever you click on downloads, on a link, usually it gets downloaded and you're able to locate them through downloads by clicking the browser menu and then navigate to downloads. Similarly, I was saying that usually people, when for some people do, whenever they want to send something on their computer to someone, perhaps a picture or just an overview of something, they pick up their phone and they snap, which is not good. It's not professional, right? So today, as an AI and digital literacy you know student right now, you have the possibility on your computer to take screenshots. Now there is a particular button on most computers that takes care of screenshots. But what people also use is what we call a snipping tool. So basically, this is mine here. So what I basically do is I start a new snip and I capture as such. And from here, I can copy and paste on WhatsApp or on email and send to anyone. So how do I access this snipping tool? Simply on my computer, it comes on in fact on every Windows computer. So by pressing or clicking on my start menu, I can simply search for snip and it's going to autofill snipping tool, and from there I can open. So I can choose to take an entire screenshot, or I can cut the particular section I want to screen capture and then copy and paste. I hope someone was able to learn something new today. Type your questions if you have any. This session is so interesting. I really didn't want to stop here for today, and we'll continue during our next session. Please do well to invite someone. I'm open to your questions. If there are no questions, then Mr. Success, the floor is yours. Yes, Mrs. Adebola, do you have a question?
Yes, what's this? I can't see that. What you just finished now. To screenshot on computer. What's the name?
Okay, it's snipping tool. Let me type it in the chat.
Okay. You can try
Snipping
attach it.
tool. Yes, it is on every Windows computer.
Okay,
And
okay.
Mac OS has an alternative too for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
you're welcome.
you.
Okay, Mr. Success, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, the floor is yours, sir. I'm done for today.
All right. Thank you very much. So this is where we'll be calling the night. I'll be ending the recording right away.